Hello and welcome to Alternatify, the channel where we delve into the fascinating realm of what-ifs. Today we embark on a grand thought experiment, one that could have reshaped the very fabric of our world. We ask a monumental question: what if the Spanish Empire never declined? Imagine a world where the sun truly never set on a single dominant power for centuries longer than it did. The implications are staggering, touching every aspect of language, politics, culture, and even the very geography of nations. Join us as we explore the profound ripple effects, both beneficial and potentially catastrophic, of such an alternate history. To truly grasp the magnitude of this what-if, we must first understand the historical reality. The Spanish Empire, at its zenith in the 16th and 17th centuries, was an unparalleled global force. Its discovery of the Americas unleashed an unimaginable torrent of wealth, primarily gold and silver, that fueled its ambitions. From the vast stretches of the Americas to the distant Philippines and across significant parts of Europe, Spain's influence was undeniable. It was a true global hegemon, a pioneer of interconnectedness long before the term existed. Yet even at its peak, the seeds of its eventual decline were being sown. Economic instability was a primary culprit. The massive influx of New World wealth, rather than fostering sustainable growth, often led to rampant inflation. Spain became over-reliant on resource extraction, neglecting the development of its own domestic industries and innovation. This created a fragile economic base, vulnerable to external shocks. Constant conflicts further drained its resources. Spain was perpetually embroiled in wars, from religious conflicts across Europe to logistical challenges in maintaining its vast overseas territories. These endless campaigns stretched its treasury and manpower to breaking point. Governance issues compounded these problems. Corruption was rife, and the sheer inefficiency of managing such a sprawling empire from Madrid proved an insurmountable challenge. Poor administration of its overseas territories often led to resentment and instability. As Spain grappled with these internal struggles, rival powers began to emerge. England, France, and the Dutch Republic, with their burgeoning navies and mercantile ambitions, increasingly challenged Spanish dominance. The pivotal War of the Spanish Succession in the early 18th century marked a significant turning point, signaling a definitive shift in the European balance of power. But what if Spain had overcome these challenges? What if it had learned from its mistakes, adapted, and continued its ascent? This is where our alternative history truly begins. In our alternate timeline, the Spanish Empire makes a crucial pivot. Instead of squandering its New World wealth on endless wars and imported goods, an enlightened monarchy, perhaps inspired by early Enlightenment ideals, channels it strategically. This wealth is invested directly into domestic industries, infrastructure, and technological advancement. Imagine vast networks of roads, canals, and modern ports crisscrossing the Iberian Peninsula and its European holdings. This infrastructure would not only facilitate trade, but also foster internal cohesion and economic dynamism. The silver and gold from the Americas become the bedrock of a truly productive economy, rather than a mere currency for consumption. This proactive government actively encourages scientific research and technological innovation. Universities become centers of cutting-edge discovery, and inventors are lauded and funded. Spain transforms from a resource extractor into a manufacturing and innovation hub, a true global economic powerhouse. The impact on the Americas is profound. Instead of being mere sources of raw materials, they become integrated partners in this grand economic vision. Significant investment flows into education, healthcare, and local infrastructure across the viceroyalties. This fosters a more equitable relationship, transforming colonies into vital contributing provinces. Within Europe, Spain's continued economic might shifts the balance of power dramatically. Its robust economy and technological superiority make it an unassailable force, potentially preventing many of the conflicts that plagued the continent in our timeline. The economic landscape of the world would be fundamentally different, with Spain at its undisputed center. With its economic engine roaring, The political landscape of our alternate world is reshaped beyond recognition. This is a world dominated not by the rise of independent nation-states, but by the enduring might of a truly global empire. The Spanish Empire evolves perhaps into a constitutional monarchy or a decentralized system offering varying degrees of autonomy to its vast territories. Crucially, colonial integration becomes a hallmark of this new imperial model. Greater representation, autonomy, and political participation are granted to the diverse populations of its overseas territories. This proactive approach mitigates the revolutionary fervor that swept through the Americas in our history. The continued strength of the Spanish Empire poses a formidable challenge to the expansionist ambitions of Britain, France, and the Dutch. Their colonial empires might be significantly curtailed, or even non-existent in the forms we know them. The scramble for Africa, for instance, could play out very differently or not at all. Perhaps the most striking political consequence is the non-existence of the United States as we know it. Spanish control over vast swathes of North American territories, extending far beyond Florida and the Southwest, would prevent the formation of the 13 colonies into an independent nation. The continent's political destiny would be entirely different. Even Asia feels the profound impact. Through its enduring presence in the Philippines, Spain plays a major role in the region's politics and trade. The Spanish language and culture spread further, altering the balance of power and cultural dynamics across the Pacific. This is a world where imperial boundaries are far more stable and global power dynamics are fundamentally reordered. In this enduring Spanish Empire, cultural fusion becomes a dominant global phenomenon. The blending of Spanish traditions with countless local customs creates a vibrant, interconnected tapestry of human experience. This isn't merely assimilation, but a dynamic, two-way exchange. The Spanish language, Castilian, becomes the undisputed lingua franca of commerce, diplomacy, and high culture across vast swaths of the globe. From the Americas to the Pacific, it serves as the common tongue, facilitating communication and understanding between diverse peoples. Imagine a world where Spanish is as globally pervasive as English is today, or even more so. The global spread of Spanish culture is undeniable. Spanish art, music, literature, and cuisine influence diverse regions, creating unique blends that enrich local traditions. Flamenco might fuse with indigenous rhythms, or Spanish architectural styles might incorporate Asian motifs. The world becomes a kaleidoscope of Hispano-influenced expressions. Vibrant cultural landscapes emerge, particularly in the Americas and Asia, where centuries of continuous interaction lead to truly unique syntheses. This increased diversity and interconnectedness foster a greater appreciation for different cultures, as people from disparate backgrounds find common ground through shared language and cultural touchstones. The world is more unified, yet paradoxically, more culturally rich. While the vision of a perpetually dominant Spanish Empire might seem grand, it's crucial to acknowledge the inherent challenges and potential dark sides. Maintaining control over such a vast and diverse collection of territories, even with enlightened governance, would be an immense undertaking. The sheer logistical and administrative burden would be staggering. Colonial tensions, though perhaps mitigated by greater autonomy, would remain a constant threat. The potential for rebellions and uprisings, fueled by local grievances or desires for complete independence, would always simmer beneath the surface. Even the most benevolent empire can face resistance. Economic disparities, despite efforts towards integration, could still lead to significant social unrest. The vast wealth generated might not be distributed equitably, leading to pockets of poverty and inequality that could destabilize the empire from within. The exploitation of natural resources, even if managed better, would still have an environmental cost. Deforestation, pollution, and habitat destruction would likely be widespread consequences of such a massive, long-lived industrial empire. Ultimately, this alternative history still carries a complex colonial legacy. While perhaps less brutal than some historical realities, the potential for suffering, injustice, and cultural clashes would remain. The imposition of a dominant culture, even if blended, always carries the risk of suppressing indigenous identities. This is a world of triumphs, certainly, but also of potential tragedies, where the sheer scale of power could lead to unforeseen consequences. If the Spanish Empire had never declined, our world today would be profoundly, almost unrecognizably different. The languages we speak, the cultures we inhabit, the political systems that govern us, and the economic structures that define our lives would all bear the indelible mark of a dominant, enduring Spanish influence. Spanish would likely be the dominant global language, the lingua franca of international relations, science, and popular culture. Its cultural influence would be widespread, shaping everything from architecture to popular music across continents. The very notion of a global culture would be deeply intertwined with Spanish heritage. The political landscape would be dramatically altered. The United States as we know it would not exist. North America would be a patchwork of Spanish viceroyalties or autonomous regions, perhaps with different borders and identities. Global power dynamics would be entirely reconfigured, with Spain as the enduring superpower, potentially alongside other lesser empires. The global economy would be Spanish-shaped, with its influence paramount in trade, manufacturing, and innovation. Supply chains, financial centers, and technological advancements would likely originate from or be heavily influenced by the enduring Spanish economic engine. The very concept of globalization would have a distinctly Iberian flavor. Even the colonial legacy, while perhaps altered, would be more complex. The relationship between Spain and its former colonies, or rather its enduring provinces, would be a nuanced tapestry of shared history, cultural exchange, and perhaps lingering tensions. It would be a world where the past is not merely a memory, but a living, breathing presence. Our journey through this alternative history has been a fascinating one, exploring the potential for economic prosperity, cultural fusion, and political intrigue. We've seen the triumphs and acknowledged the potential tragedies of a world where the Spanish Empire never declined. It's a powerful reminder that history is not a fixed, predetermined path, but a complex tapestry woven from countless possibilities. This thought experiment underscores the fragility and dynamism of empires, and the profound impact that seemingly small shifts can have on the grand narrative of human civilization. It invites us to question the inevitability of historical outcomes and to consider the myriad paths not taken. What are your thoughts on this alternate reality? Do you believe such an empire could have truly endured? Share your insights and speculations in the comments below. If you enjoyed this exploration of alternative history, please consider liking this video, sharing it with fellow history buffs, and subscribing to Alternatify for more thought-provoking content. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. We're always looking for new what-if scenarios to explore. So if you have an idea for a future video, let us know. Thank you for joining us on this journey through time. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep imagining.